Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy.
Big D!
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel. We are out here. We are doing it. Jump into the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Get involved. Get your thoughts out there. The Woodward Sports community is one that obviously we cherish. It's pretty entertaining. It's pretty funny to me a lot of times. Will go off on their own. But I got to tell you, it is cool to see people out in the community repping Woodward Sports.
100%.
I got this one from a friend of the show. His daughter Sarah is a go-kart racer.
Oh,
right?
nice.
Races go-karts.
Did she issue a challenge to Big D Energy? Oh, no, she's got a sticker
She's
on
got
her
the
car.
repping Woodward Sports, Sarah Bouchard on her go-kart that she races, and races at a pretty high level from what I'm told. Repping Woodward Sports out there, that's big time.
That might be, just speaking of that might be a good group activity, little team activity. Maybe everybody do a little go-kart action, because now they got some sick tracks and stuff like that, don't they? But how cool is that? Stickers everywhere, stuff like this, a T-shirt, Stoke not scared, Stoke not scared.
Hey, D-Mac.
Bricked up.
May the 4th
Stoke
be
not
with
scared.
you.
May the 4th be with you, baby. Happy birthday to my
Stoke not
nephew,
scared.
KJ. And I got my Mandalorian shirt on. I heard from my Wookiee, Jay Adams, this morning. So we all good, Neal.
Okay.
We all good. Vroom, vroom, vroom. That's my lightsaber.
Did you get out
I'm
of
a
your system?
Mandalorian. I don't have a lightsaber. I have a
Dark saber, yeah.
But it got broke.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler. Anyways, you're gonna be like that.
No, but like what? Go ahead, do your
Name anybody
your show
in
too,
Star
man.
Wars that is worse than Uncle Joe. There isn't anybody.
No, I'd take
Palpatine.
I'd take Palpatine over Grandpa
He's worse
Joe.
than Uncle Joe?
No, I'd take Palpatine over
Yeah,
Grandpa Joe.
absolutely.
Yeah.
At least he had a plan and some power
Yeah.
up front. Anyways, happy
May the 4th be with you all.
Real Cream of Wheat says, do you have any tone stickers? Not that I'm aware of. Maybe we will work on that. Well, it's funny, D-Mac, you brought up Bricked Up.
Yeah.
I was doing some shopping at the local grocery store and was, turning on to Van Dyke to go home and happened to run across this advertisement for masonry restoration called Bricked. And I'll tell you this. I have never gotten any work done by them before, but in name alone, I would give them a call and bring them in the fold. I'm just saying, Bricked.
Yeah.
Getting
It's
ready.
good marketing.
It certainly is good marketing. Honolulu Blue Sparty, Jar Jar could compete with Grandpa Joe for biggest bozo.
Hey.
Well, no, he's the biggest bozo, but he's not as sinister. Even though he could be a Sith Lord.
Could be a Sith Lord. I've seen the theories.
Maybe he's scheming, but still.
Flannel?
Although he is annoying though, Jar Jar.
Oh, for sure.
He's up there.
Flannel, do you understand this language that they're up here speaking?
Well, in the words of the great Channing Tatum from 21 Jump Street, there's no nice way to say this. You're a fucking nerd.
Hey. And?
I know. I'm just saying.
All right.
I can't believe you guys don't like Star Wars?
Hey,
I don't give a shit.
You know what? It's all right.
Yeah. Who doesn't like Star Wars?
It's at May. They don't need to. We don't need them, Spenny.
Yeah, that's fair.
Spenny, right here.
That's
That's
fair.
why we're here. That's why they're
Locked
there.
in. Yeah. It's true.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Who doesn't like Star Wars?
I'm ambivalent.
I mean, does
to it.
everybody
I'm indifferent.
Who's down with Star Wars? Can we have a chat poll? Just say, are you down with May 4th? I mean, are people down with Star Wars?
Yeah. In other words, are you a dork? Whatever way you want to say
is
it.
that
Go
a
ahead.
dork?
No, I'm
Star
playing.
Wars?
I'm playing. Dork.
Listen,
Nerd culture is real, Neal.
We're people too.
you didn't grow
mainstream.
up with it,
Yeah, I mean, I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater when I was a little kid. I
but
guess
you didn't grow
I
up.
was told.
I'm older than you, so when Star Wars came out, man, that was the big thing. I got wrapped up in it. I mean, I even got the Millennium Falcon
Hell yeah.
Christmas when I was 9. It's awesome.
Okay, dorks. But hey, we move on. Shane Sandrock says, good day to everyone besides Grandpa Joe. And you know what? The Grandpa Joe hate is real. I got a couple texts about the Grandpa Joe segment yesterday. Female friend that I used to work with texted me and said, she's not like heavy talk sports thing. Her husband was watching the show, and she just happened to walk in when we were talking about Grandpa Joe, and she said she was captivated. She said she never thought of Grandpa Joe that way.
Yeah.
And guess what? We were right.
We were right. He's a terrible person.
He is absolutely a terrible person. But yeah, May the 4th, woodwardsports.com, chat thread, and chat poll right now. Are you down with Star Wars? 69% of you say yes, 32% of you say no. That's about where I thought it would be.
I'm surprised, honestly. I thought
You know
it'd be
what,
closer
though?
to 80.
It makes sense that we did this poll 30 years ago. Be 90-10.
Yeah.
But and I don't blame it, because my question, here's the thing, Spenny. Did you see Star Wars 4, 5, did you see it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3? Or did you see
No,
it?
I saw 1, 2, 3.
You saw Phantom Menace out.
Yeah, I saw Phantom Menace.
So your perspective, right, compared to mine even, and you still got Jar Jar Binks first and you still love it? Because I think that's where you lost a lot of people.
That's fair.
Right? So I don't think it's as, they're trying to make a comeback and stuff like this, and it's cool if you're into it, but, it's weird that you can have different perspective from how you watched it.
Also, that new trilogy was not good. Not good. The Last Jedi is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in theaters. I hated every second of it.
Was it vastly overrated?
No, it was just bad. Like with Princess Leia, it would have been the perfect time to write her out. She just miraculously survives the vacuum of space and then figures out she has the Force and pulls her back. I was like, oh, come on. But I don't know. It was first 6, though. Masterpieces. You got Clone Wars, masterpiece. Mando, masterpiece. Bad Batch, masterpiece. It's...
Now you speak my language. Hey, only on May 4th, Neal. Only on May 4th.
No, it's all the time with you guys. It's one night at the baseball park. It's on Halloween. You guys permeate this all the time.
We try.
Rogue One.
And every time you guys have the same story, right? You're like, well, it's only May the 4th. But it's not only May the 4th. It's Star Wars night at the baseball game. It's Star Wars night on Halloween. Look at this cool T-shirt that's not on May 4th. You guys, that's what you say. You do it under that disguise. But you permeate and you pop up all the time, and all the time we got to deal with it. With your little special language you're talking right now.
Rogue One was really good.
With your little characters and all that kind of stuff.
Andor's really good, too.
And I don't even know what you're saying right now. I don't even know what you're saying. But hey, it's cool.
How many
I'm
days a year do
patient.
you think Star Wars dominates? Because I guarantee it dominated more in the past than it does now.
For sure.
So what? Few days a year? And
You guys
thank
sneak
you
it
for
in
noticing.
there. You
Thanks for
sneak it
noticing.
in there.
We like to. We like to dress up.
I know.
All right. Thank you for the May the 4th talk.
Okay. No, yay. Lions Planet says Star Wars is dead now.
Alan Nelson said tomorrow is Revenge of the 5th.
What does that mean?
Revenge of the Sith is a Star Wars movie.
Hey, yes,
Oh,
and I
of
do.
course.
And I
How
do
silly of
agree.
me.
Neal does have Sith tendencies.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
For sure.
F. Jake says I never watched one of them.
Dude, you're missing out. That blows my mind. Like Easy's never seen Star Wars. I tell him all the time, like, bro, what are you talking about? You've never seen Star Wars.
Kenny says it's the one day of the year I can run around in a trench coat with a lightsaber.
Hell yeah, brother.
You are not going to do that.
No, but I would if I had them.
No, but I'm down for people that do.
Yeah.
That
But
get
D-Mac, you
dressed
know where
up.
I stand, man. Do whatever you want to
I
do.
know, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do whatever you want to do as long as it leaves me alone. I don't care what you do.
Okay.
The new series is not crap, Rustin Burks. Andor is fantastic. Mando is fantastic. Kenobi was pretty good.
Well, I'm down. Now you got Ahsoka.
Yeah, Ahsoka
you
looks
got
like it's going to be really good.
the way that they're tying them all in together.
Hard pass.
Steven Syrett says, preach, Neal. So there are people out there that do back me. But then Robert Closio, right on the heels of it, says, Neal, it's Disney now, and it's not going anywhere, bitch.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, facts.
They
All
do.
right, happy May 4th. There you go.
They do. Luke, 18, 27, 77. What makes you cool, Neal? I don't know. Can somebody Can somebody answer that when you ask that? Can somebody answer that about themselves? I don't know that you can.
He's got it or you don't.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, I
other
can't
side of the
speak to
pillow?
that. Maybe, I don't know. Real cream of wheat. I really wish I had a clue what any of you guys were talking about. And that's kind of my statement on it. And I don't hate on it. You guys do you. Makes you guys
Absolutely.
happy, man. Makes you guys happy. Good for you. You're my friends. I want you to be happy.
Somebody
Thank you,
said
Neal.
Clone Wars, the animated Clone Wars is fire. And yeah, animated Clone Wars is amazing. You get prime Anakin in there, just doing whatever he wants.
All right, what about this? Because this is a character I know. Todd Sane says Han Solo is a bozo.
No, Han Solo's the man. What?
Han Solo is the man.
Yeah, he's a space pirate. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
He's the original space lord,
Yeah,
right? Which Guardians of the Galaxy out tomorrow, Volume 3.
that looks good too.
Another nerd flick for all the nerds in the Marvel MCU.
Han Solo's the man.
Are you
Luke's
an
a
MCU
bozo,
fan?
if anything.
What's that?
Are you a Marvel fan?
No.
You're not a make-believe fan. You're
No.
like, you're just
I
all
like
sports.
facts. Yeah.
All facts and sports all the time.
Documentaries.
Documentaries
Documentaries and salary
sporting
caps.
events. Salary caps, exactly.
And draft capital. I am a big
Absolutely.
documentary guy.
Yes.
I am. So don't really watch a ton of movies and all that kind of stuff. Tigers. Man,
I've-
swept the New York Mets yesterday.
Dude, did you like that? I put the Karma Kabuki on Scherzer, and
Yeah.
he really just,
He looked like he hadn't pitched in a couple weeks.
well, he looked like he was pitching in Atlanta yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what he said. If anybody didn't hear, he said, "Oh, I'd rather be pitching in Atlanta. They got a good team." Nice job, Tigers. And your boy Javi, you must
we had a
inspire him yesterday.
sighting.
He's been
Hit a
hitting like
bomb, didn't
350
he?
since he got benched.
I know. What's that average up to? About 240?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, it's creeping.
Let me
That's
say-
like the new 280. Eric Haas, divine chop, 5 RBIs,
Yeah.
comeback win,
Home run in both games.
That's big. Look at the payroll difference. Look at the talent difference, and you just swept the Mets. I know.
average is up to 247.
Small victories,
Or no, I'm sorry, 237.
but that's the new 260.
Yeah.
I got inevitably too. I always get this. I get the tweet, right? How do you like Javi Baez now? That was the tweet that I got. I'm like, oh, I still would rather him not be here, no matter what.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, the season started at the beginning of April. It's May. It's about time you got to hit.
It's gonna be May.
Jesus, man. Yeah, he's on a torrid pace, hitting 237. And oh, by the way, after he hit the home run, did he hit that home run in Game 1 or Game 2?
That was game 1.
Game 1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he followed that up and went 0 for 4 the next game.
That was a bomb he hit, though.
Well, I mean,
Well, there was what, like 5 home runs hit in that game? Wind was blowing out?
Wind was blowing. But his was the furthest.
Cool. Cool story, man. That brings up, what is it, for the regular season? Oh, that was his first home run of the year. That's right. Mm-hmm. They're what, 12 and 17, huh? So, for all the Fire A.J. Hinch people.
4 games out of first.
For all the Fire A.J. Hinch people. Did he do a managerial move to kind of light the fire?
He
We're
did.
into that around here, right?
He did.
He lit the fire. So, for the Fire A.J. Hinch people, there you have it. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Does this mean we're not going to talk about Grandpa Joe today? Who knows? Who knows which way the show
Oh, please.
is
Do we
going
have
to go?
new info on Grandpa Joe? Did somebody do a deep dive?
And do we
I-
got his scouting combine numbers?
Absolutely. What were his numbers?
Come to find out that Grandpa Joe did, in fact, perish in 1981. Huh.
See you later.
See you later, Grandpa Joe. Shouldn't have been a dick. Maybe you'd live. Maybe you'd still be with us, but maybe not.
And yeah, 40 years later. Here
Nicholas
we are.
Duncan says, "Don't care." So there is that. We got some transfer portal to talk, and we are going to talk Detroit Lions. Everybody, don't worry. Hunter Dickinson, right before we went on the show, is transferring to Kansas. Keon Coleman, word around the campfire is he's going to Auburn.
No.
So we're going to discuss it when we come back because I want to know where the people are with it. Strawberry Fest, it's back at Big Boy. You can get the classic breakfast items, strawberry hotcakes, mouth-watering red velvet waffle. If you're not a breakfast person, try the strawberry bacon chicken wrap. I've had it. Awesome. Great way, too, to partake in Strawberry Fest. Or you get the refreshing summer splash salad and get dessert. That's the point of all of this.
Yes,
you can
it
have
is.
You can have the OG, the strawberry pie, which D-Mac will have next time we're out at Big Boy. You can have the deep-fried vanilla Oreos, which D-Mac will have next time we're out at Big Boy. Or you can get the strawberry hot fudge cake, which D-Mac will have next time we're all at Big Boy. And he'll eat it on the air, too.
Hat trick.
All that is out there for you. It is Strawberry Fest. Get to your local Big Boy today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you today on a Thursday. Lions Troll says, is Neal being a heel again? I don't think I was doing anything to be a heel. No. We unilaterally all hate Grandpa Joe.
Absolutely. And 2 out of 4 of us hate Star Wars.
Yes. I'm indifferent to it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, D-Mac.
Okay.
If that's what you're into, that's what you're into.
So it's just Sam hates it.
Yes.
Okay.
Now that's accurate. That's accurate reporting.
I feel about how Neal feels
Legend
about
kill
it.
Grogu. Way to go, Sam.
Yeah.
He's going to legend kill Grogu.
Grandpa Joe from the Afterlife has jumped into the chat thread. He just said, I hate all of you too. Hey, to quote Brandon Katz, don't care, Grandpa Joe. In the end, you got what you deserved. All the way around. Just remember that. One of the worst people of all time. Oh, by the way, rest in peace, Peter Klima, by the way. That news dropped this morning. Peter Klima passed away, I believe, at the age of 58, I want to say. Either way, it was far too young. I know that, my understanding was, he's having a little bit of a rough go of it towards the end there. But, again, I enjoyed watching Peter Klima play. He was kind of like my first exposure to like the European style of hockey.
Well, absolutely. One of the first ones over, one of the first Czech guys over, 88 or like that. And I always remember not only the right shot from being a right shot, but the tape job. He used to use 2 different types of, like a candy cane on his stick blade, but he could score. Most memorable, Peter Klima wasn't here. It was in Edmonton, overtime. In 88 or 89 or whatever it was, but he was sitting on the bench for, it was like 3 overtimes, and he hadn't gotten a shift in overtime. Got his first shift, went and scored the overtime winner and stuff like that. Played with him in the alumni,
yeah,
and still had the talent, could still score. So I know he's got some kids and stuff like that. So condolences to his family, and yeah, too young, and it's just one of those things that. Struggled with addiction and alcoholism and stuff like that. And unfortunately, I think you nailed it when you said he went too early.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll always remember he had the penalty shot against the Maple Leafs in the playoffs and, skated down by the net and, tapped the upper left corner. And then turned and did the shot and put it right in the upper left corner and scored in the playoffs. I love, you guys know I love that kind of theatrics, and it's entertaining and all that stuff. So again, rest in peace to Peter Klima. Grandpa Joe in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread says, also, I wholeheartedly endorse every Brandon Katz take. So there's that out there as well. Guys, because we haven't had this discussion yet, and we're going to get to Lion stuff, all right? But it was good timing by Sam Flannel's buddy, Hunter Dickinson, this morning. And Spenmo, you knew we were going to have this discussion. You weren't going to run from it forever. Keon Coleman, certainly the big news. Peyton Thorne as well for Michigan State football. Word around the campfire, Keon Coleman will be going to Auburn. That's what I've heard. I don't know if you've heard any different.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I heard Peyton Thorne is more than likely going to Auburn. And if they get Peyton Thorne, they're not going to get Keon Coleman.
Okay.
I'll tell you that right now as a fact. I don't know exactly where he's going to end up, but yeah, like Peyton Thorne probably wasn't going to have his job anyways. It was he was probably going to lose that job to Noah Kim or Caden Hauser this year. But Keon Coleman, that shit sucks, man. That's tough.
That's a blow.
That's a huge blow. He's the best player on the roster.
And it's like I say too, and this isn't Michigan hate. This is factual. When Michigan played Michigan State, now maybe because I believe wasn't that the Will Levis Anthony Richardson day? It might have been thinking about it. So maybe that bourbon I had to drink to survive that Florida Kentucky game played a part in this. I thought Keon Coleman was the best player on the field in that football game. Like with that little moment where he took over, towards the end of the first quarter into the second quarter, then Michigan made adjustments, and because you could take a receiver out of the game if there's no other threats, which there was not from Michigan State.
Yep.
But just super, super talented. That one was a blow. It's for me, and this is real, right? But this was your first taste of it, Spenny. Michigan folks have dealt with it before. Michigan's profited from the transfer portal. They've had takeaways. They've profited as well. That offensive lineman y'all got from Virginia,
Oluwatimi, yes,
very underrated. His impact on Michigan's team.
MSU profited from the transfer portal too.
Absolutely, absolutely. This was your first gut punch.
Yes,
because that's the way the transfer portal works. Because you just enter it. And right now, as it sits, because they're getting to the dead period right now too, where you can't enter.
Yeah,
it's getting close. I can't remember. There are still over 1,200 players in the transfer portal. Let that sink in for a minute. There's only 140 college football teams.
Yeah,
there's still over 1,000 players in the transfer portal.
And Justin Thind, the host of Spartan Dogs SD4L show and different things, he's very tied in with Michigan State. He was the one that broke the news about Keon Coleman. He said there is a slight possibility he returns now that Peyton Thorne has put his name in the transfer portal as well. I'm not going to put any hope to that. I think he's gone. But Charles Brantley also entered the transfer portal and came back after the hiring of a new player relations person for Michigan State. So Still hope, but I'm not holding out hope. I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, and the news this right before the show, Hunter Dickinson going to Kansas right now. So Flannel has saw it too. Now, there's been a pattern, right? We've seen Michigan, I don't want to say be burned because Michigan fans are going to say, oh, there you go, hating Michigan. Michigan has lost more to the transfer portal because, again, this is Michigan State's kind of first experience with it. The pattern I've noticed when players leave Michigan, just on social media, and that's not the best gauge for all this because you know what you're going to get from social media. And Sam Flannel, I'm sure you're happy about this, right? You're happy he's gone, or no?
No, I have been the one defending the Hunter Dickinson slander from all of the Rube Michigan fans who just act like he was
did say
a problem.
F. Hunter Dickinson, but
you did say that.
Let me explain that. That game that he put up against Central Michigan in a loss, that was an effable moment, but he more than made up for it, and let the record also show I apologized on air after the Wisconsin game.
He did?
I did.
I'm mad Hunter Dickinson left, I'm not going to lie. I wanted to see him get sauced by Xavier Booker on the perimeter a couple times.
Does this hit different because these are supposed to be your guys? And it doesn't make you question like your program. Like where are you at now, Spenny? Is it more of like?
And that's the general question I have for everybody. Like where are you all with it? And Spenny, like again, your first taste of it.
Yeah.
Where are you at with it?
It sucks. It sucks. I don't know what to think. I mean, I understand where Keon's coming from. Like Michigan State's offense last year should have been throw the ball to Keon Coleman down the field at least 15 times every game.
Yeah.
And they refused to do that.
I would have done it every series, at least once a series.
Yeah, I would have thrown him the ball 2 plays out of 4 if I was Michigan State because he was a game changer and he was the best player on your team. But, it is what it is. He made the decision that was best for him, and I wish him the best. I wish he's going to be playing on Sundays regardless. And dude's talented.
People in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread telling me that Coleman's on an official visit to Florida State, so Florida State's in play. So, things are wide open. Here on Mark M says, I never would have guessed that Slugworth would have been a bad guy and Grandpa Joe was the evil piece of poop. Slugworth did have a punchable face.
Yes.
I mean, just the look, those glasses, that stupid little hat he wore. I wanted to punch him in the face. But in the end, yeah, he was a much better person than Grandpa Joe. But, D-Mac, what's your take on it, man, as we see it?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm more concerned. Is it like? I guess my take would be at Michigan with Dickinson transferring, like say to Kansas, is that you could look at it like because Hunter Dickinson was your guy or supposed to be your guy. Well, you can look at it in this way and say, well, you know what? I can use it as a one-off that he wasn't gonna prosper anymore under Juwan and whatever, but Juwan's still the guy and stuff like that. At Michigan State, if you can't keep some of your highest talented guys, what does this say about not only recruiting, but where's your program at? And I guess the point being is my faith in Juwan Howard hasn't waned. Maybe I look at this might be a little leak, right? Another leak in there, but they're only leaks out of the basketball program at Michigan. We're out of the football program. What's going on? Like, I mean, Tuck coming, Tuck spinning, Tuck doing what? I'm way more worried about what's going on there in the culture and what they're building. Is this something that they're just sweeping, like saying, okay, guys, go ahead and sweeping it and going to start all over again and going to build, and that's what Spenny's ready for? Or are you just lose? Like, is there, to me, bottom line, at Michigan State, this is way more of a problem of what does it really mean from what we've been being told and shown coming out of that program.
See, and I think that fits a narrative, right? Like, if you want that to be the case, that's a narrative you can spin. We saw that Jordan
Mel
Anderson
Tucker and what he says about this and stuff like that. I haven't heard him say things like that, right? Just to the point that...
Well, you know what he'll say. Like, I'm only concerned about the guys that are here.
So, Neal, this is the difference, right? The difference between then, I'm going to compare it to Brad Holmes, where I said, listen to him after the draft, and he explained what the process was. Mel Tucker or Juwan Howard or anybody else to get ahead and show me that they know what they're dealing with and this is the direction that they're going, or unfortunately or fortunately. Whatever narrative it is, I don't know what their plan is. Spenny, do you know what your guys' plan is? Do you, right? And that's the one thing is I know when I look at the Red Wings, I know Steve Eisman's plan. I look at the Lions, I know his plan. You know, I look at the Michigan basketball. You know what it is? It's Michigan basketball. Michigan football, well, Harbaugh's got a plan. There's no plan, and that's what's up in the air. To you say narratives, I can fill 10 narratives because I don't know where they're at.
Yeah, it's just we've seen this play out before. It happened at Pitt. Jordan Addison left for more money and made more money than Jamison Williams did last year. Jordan Addison took a pay cut to be a first-round NFL draft pick. Like, that's I don't. If you want to push that, I could understand pushing that. I think it's just a simple matter of economics.
Yeah.
Because that's what it would be for me. And guys, look, I'm honest about it, man. If I get offered to go somewhere else and contractually I can do it, and you're talking about double, triple the money, guess where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, if that's the waters Mel Tucker and Michigan State are swimming in because they can't compete with that, would you come out and tell me and go, this is our game plan, then how are we going to counter that? Right? Because do you have any direction right now, Spenny? Other than hearing just you're losing all these guys and whatever, do you have faith and direction? Because that's all I'm waiting to hear.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've got other guys, like they got Trey Mosley, they got Antonio Gates Jr., they've got some guys that can fill in wide out. And what we're trying to get David Stone. David Stone would be the biggest land for Michigan State. He's a 5-star defensive tackle prospect for 2024. So you got to build in the trenches is what it's about. And, you know, we are in the Big Ten, so you need to get that trench work done. They got some good offensive line pieces coming in. If you can get David Stone, that'll be a huge win.
DNCENT in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Well, Hunter, see you later. Your mom's favorite skater. Do you think Hunter transferring to Kansas will help his draft stock? I mean,
no.
He's still going to have to guard James Harden off a switch. You know, like that's still a thing. That would happen. So I don't know. Possibly, maybe it'll help them get drafted at the end of the second round or whatever, but the game is still the same. Like the insurance game, that's still the same. There's only one choice.
And that would be Swiss, absolutely. Like our draft picks, did the GM do his job? Be a boss and take control of your insurance options. Draft a company that will give you the most cost-effective plan and protect you like the best O-line in the league. Email Swiss Insurance today at mark@swissins.com, or you can just go online to swissins.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, all of you in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Remember, subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. And while you're in the subscribing mode, the Big D Energy podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker. Be really dope if you could leave a 5-star review as well. Help us, get those algorithms funneling and get that podcast in front of a lot more people. LV the fourth says, it doesn't mean the program is trash if players transfer, which I agree with. Money and playing time dictate things. College is now more semi-pro ball than ever. And it is. Just like it always has been for coaches. And we're talking transfer portal right now. Flannel, the Hunter Dickinson situation. He's leaving for, quote, greener pastures, right? You go into Kansas with Bill Self and everything like that. And look, we've seen this happen to Michigan in the past. We've seen Michigan profit from it. We've seen Michigan be punished by it. At the same time, I would contend, the offensive lineman you got from Virginia never got the proper credit he deserved here for, the impact that he had on the football team. So no doubt Michigan has profited from it. Where are you with it, Sam Flannel, as a Michigan fan who's seen it sliced both ways?
Well, as a Michigan fan, there's one overriding thing that can't be ignored, and the same goes for MSU football. Both Michigan football and MSU football had horrifically disappointing seasons last year. Michigan basketball didn't make the tournament. Michigan football didn't make a bowl game. And that was despite Hunter Dickinson once again leading the team in points, rebounds, and blocks. And in the last 4 games of the season, averaging 16, 12, and 3 blocks on 60% shooting and 60% from 3. That's the thing. He did all that he could do with this team, and they didn't even make the tournament. And now he's going to Kansas. Obviously, there could be other things like NIL money, but he was certainly getting that there. At Kansas, he might have an opportunity to play for a national championship under Bill Self, who I think we would all agree is a much better coach than Juwan Howard by a landslide, and play alongside Jalen Wilson. That could get him more exposure. I don't blame him at all for leaving, but I also recognize how much it could hurt the program next season. Michigan better as hell hope that Terrace Reed, Doug McDaniel, and Caleb Love perform next year, or this is looking like a team that could win 7 Big Ten conference games.
What's the commonality of those 3 names that you brought up, though? Like, what was Michigan's advantage? Michigan had a non-negotiable advantage in every basketball game they played last year.
They did.
A non-negotiable.
They did.
As much as you said F that guy.
One time, and then I forgave him.
I forgave him. Hey, Spenny, F you.
Yeah.
I forgive you.
It was the worst game of his life against Central Michigan. Come on. He was dominant in the last 4 games. I'm the only one giving him his flowers. There are people saying F Hunter Dickinson now, and those people ought to be ashamed of themselves.
F Hunter Dickinson.
Well, you can say it. You're a Michigan State fan. And F Keon Coleman while we're at it.
It's fair.
No, but it is. And as we look across the landscape of college sports right now, what's dominating college football? Deion Sanders. And it's been interesting to me to see the reaction to what he's done, right? He comes in and he tells everybody, even before he gets there, this is a 1-11 football team. I'm bringing my own baggage with me. and that's it. That's all. And then everybody's
and it's
like,
Gucci.
yeah, and it's yeah, and then everybody's all shocked and bothered.
Oh, because he did what he said?
Yeah, and all these kids bounce and everything like that, and everybody's all shocked and bothered. Dude, that team was 1-11.
Right, exactly.
He said he was doing it.
Aren't you interested and excited, like, shot in the arm to see what he does with that program? I love Dion and I love what he's all about because he's a man of action. He says it once and shows you twice. So it's interesting, and sometimes you need somebody to get in there and shake it up. Is that going to be more of the norm? Will other people, look onto that? Now, granted, is there any other Deion Sanders out there? But you don't know, like, if programs are going to look and use what Colorado State's doing, or Colorado's doing as a program with Deion this year. It's going to be interesting. Dude, how you watch the games that they play and the eyes that'll be on those games. It's must see TV just to see what he's going to do.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, they play Nebraska this year, Sam Flannel.
Yeah.
I know who's not coaching.
That Scott Frost is certainly not coaching. But yeah, to your point, Colorado might have been the worst Power 5 college football team I've ever seen last year. 1-11. I think their one win was against Cal or something like that.
They got outscored 521-165.
That's historically bad. So, I mean, all the players that they had before must not have been any good. That's why I was a little bit puzzled. Deion Sanders to Colorado, but if he can turn that program around, a program that has had some pedigree in the past but was lifeless last season, that would be an all-time great accomplishment. That would make him on the trajectory to being, I don't want to go this far, but in a similar room as a college football coach as he was as an NFL cornerback. If he can turn Colorado into a powerhouse, he will be one of the most accomplished. He will have one of the most accomplished football resumes ever. No doubt about it.
Adiz 411 says, "Will Colorado be a top 10 team?" I see the path where they could be in the future. That can't happen this year. You can't have a 1-11 team broom everybody out and then hit the ground running and I think I saw the over/under for their season total wins at like 4.5 or something like that. I wouldn't rule out. It would be an incredible success if he walked in that door, gassed just about everybody, and got to a bowl game. Could you even imagine?
Any bowl game. Absolutely. You see a lot of in the chat thread, the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, the fact that they don't think that Deion will work in a power conference because he can't take the criticism or stuff like that. Got me thinking. Two of the press conferences that I'll be locked into this year are Deion Sanders or watching that Colorado team in college and Aaron Rodgers and the Jets to see what goes on in that New York, right? Couple polarizing root for media, I guess.
Yeah.
There'll be storylines all year long, Neal, but proof in the pudding to what I said. If Deion Sanders is able to, he's pretty much going in there and lack of a better term, doing what Scott Harris is trying to do with this Tiger team.
It's an expansion team.
An expansion team, but he can do it his own way. And as long as he can do it the way that he wants to do it, it'll be interesting to see if he succeeds. If he succeeds and they do go to the bowl game, you watch the copycats.
What do you got, Spenny?
I was just going to say, if Colorado's a bubble team for a bowl game, they're getting in. Because that sells tickets. That sells viewership.
No doubt. Yeah, and he'll get all that. But guys, look at this, too. A 1-11 team. I think they had 25 scholarship players left, or some crazy number.
I think 13 of them went in their transfer portal.
Yeah,
or something like that.
It's wild how many players that they have to bring in. Look at this schedule too that he's walking in. He opens the season at TCU.
Oof.
Then Nebraska's coming into town, and the Big Ten opponent Nebraska. That's Nebraska, Sam Flannel.
I mean, maybe Matt Ruhl will give Nebraska a shot in the arm that Scott Frost never did. But
that's Nebraska.
But on the other hand, Nebraska is coming off of an entire Scott Frost run where they never made a bowl game, which
really?
I have to live. Yeah, I got to live.
I was told they're a powerhouse. Then they're home against Colorado State, which Michigan fans know, and then they're at Oregon, and then home against USC. Their first 5 games, they play TCU, Oregon, and USC.
TCU's probably not going to be that good this year. They lost a lot. They lost, 8 draft picks? including their best offensive lineman, their quarterback, their best wide receiver, and their best running back.
I know.
So,
and I'm guessing, too, that Colorado will show them what Pac-12 football is all about, and they won't have an answer for it.
It's true.
What? I didn't say it.
No, I mean, that TCU, I'll never live that down, that TCU loss. One of the worst days of my life.
Yeah. But like, the overriding thing, because I wonder where people are at with it. And D-Mac, I heard the story, and a lot of people have heard the story about how, you know, some of the players that were transferring wanted some of their practice tape to get to coaches. So they jumped in the portal. They want their practice tape. Deion Sanders denied that. I got no problem with that, man. Because coaches aren't in the business of giving out their practice tape to other teams. They're just not.
Well, I mean, that's, to me, that's the call, because he's going to go with that's the property of the Colorado or whatever like that. And yeah, it logistically don't have a problem with it. If it was right, because it'd have to be private training. So by the book, I guess, playing hard, and I can see why people would be upset, but he's not really doing anything that anybody else or other coaches wouldn't do.
Mike G says that Grandpa Joe just entered the transfer portal to get out of that dusty bed.
Grandpa Joe responded.
He certainly did. Grandpa Joe says, I would transfer to Iowa. Their program is top-notch. Few first-round talent everywhere.
Yeah, Eric All, Cade McNamara, all-stars.
Well, and Grandpa Joe, despite being bedridden for 20 years, he's got the wheels to play D1 college football right now.
It's true.
He showed it.
It's true.
They wheeled his bed into the they wheeled his bed into Indianapolis for the combine, and he ran out and ran a 4.4.
Is Cade McNamara a Heisman contender soon?
Hell no. Hell to the no.
Is Eric All Iowa's next NFL tight end?
That is more possible. I mean, he had a great year in 2021. He was on track to being what Luke Schoonmaker was this year, but he had an injury. That wouldn't shock me.
So there you have it. It's just something that I was curious where the people thought about, the transfer portal. Are we all right with it?
Yeah, I'm cool
The transfer
with it.
portal?
I like it.
I do too. Again,
Let the kids do what they want, man.
the coaches can.
Yeah.
The administrators can.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, I could go anywhere I wanted to.
Let the kids do what they want. They're getting paid. It's their lives. Let them do what they want.
I agree with you. I agree with you 110%. Planet Fitness, everybody. Someone asked me in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread how many miles you get in today, Neal. It was another 5 mile day today.
5 miles. 5 miles. 5 miles of bad road.
We're between 20 and 25 miles a week. The target's typically 5 miles Monday through Thursday, and then on Friday we lighten it up and just do a 5K or whatever, and then we ride off into the weekend and drink some bourbon. You know, Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym is clean. They have tons of equipment. You're not waiting for anything. Even if you got a bozo on a treadmill for 50 minutes like me, it doesn't matter. There's an army of treadmills out there. You're never waiting because they have all the equipment at Planet Fitness. Be a Black Card member as well. You get access to all the amenities, the tanning, the hydro massage, the body enhancement, all of it, and access to over 2,400 Planet Fitni around the world with unlimited guest privileges. You basically own the place if you're a Black Card member at Planet Fitness. Your fitness is essential, everyone. Fitness is a key part of physical and mental wellness. You can join today in club. You'll pass a couple on the way home or online at planetfitness.com. $1 down, $10 a month. The thing is running for a couple of more days. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel here with you. Grandpa Joe in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread as well. Corey Berry wants to know, instead of a rock wall, does Planet Fitness offer fizzy lifting drinks? Dom Rivera, Grandpa Joe, are you doing the swinging arm dance over Crystal? Oh, man, people love the Grandpa Joe Planet Fitness combo. Big Dan Davis, Grandpa Joe, will you be bringing any Oompa Loompas with you to Iowa? I don't know. I know that he'll leave a fallen teammate behind, though.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Mike G says Augustus Clump's always hogging the hot tub. So there's that out there as well. Did want to talk some NFL football. And again, we continue to decompress as we have all kind of claimed our life back from the NFL draft. I knew what we were getting into last week. We knew what we were getting into last week. That thing swallowed us up, man. Oh, my. I wasn't anticipating that.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was impressive.
It was. And, I wonder, with it next year being here, I wonder if that's only going to be more or less.
Shit. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's going to be downtown. We're going to have a presence. We can guarantee that.
You getting stoked, D-Mac, for the draft next year? It's here next year, everybody.
No, absolutely. And I think everything's building up. Everything's building up for next year, and I think that what we saw, I'm still interested to hear the logistics, schematics of where everything's going to go. That'll be interesting because of the time of year it is. But yeah, I'm not I'm not bricked yet, but I am stoked, simmering stoked. But it's.
Wait, nobody can be bricked for 51 weeks.
Well, you know what? Don't never say never. There's probably some.
I'll say
out
never.
There.
I can't.
No, not me. No, absolutely. Or would I want to be?
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. No, it's getting there, and it'll get closer, and it'll get closer as the seasons go down. I mean, look at Sam Flannel's flannel protection. It's like 200 and almost 70 days.
Yeah,
like
we're double
inside
digits.
A year. So what I'm saying,
it'll be
that's
over.
coming doing that.
The flannel streak will be over.
Wow. What are you going to wear your first
or
day?
Unless he's going for the Roman Reigns 1,000 days reign.
Yeah, that's a great question, Spenny. Flannel, what are you going to wear the day that the flannel mandate is lifted?
I cannot even mentally process that right now.
And for those of you that are new, because obviously we have a ton of new people watching everything like that, when Sam Flannel joined the show and, kind of became the guy on the ones and twos over there, jokingly, because he wore flannel a couple days in a row, and I said, Flannel, you got to wear a flannel every day for a year.
And here, little segue. You'll find out later in the program during the Guardian read how many straight days of protecting his flannel Guardian has, but not until then.
Until then, so stick around.
He's been consistent.
He has.
On work days.
He jokingly, he's like, yeah, I should do that. And then I was like, oh, yeah, haha, we'll do that. But not for a year. 365 consecutive work days. So weekends don't count. And he's done it.
Yeah, he's done it. I remember when we were in the teens.
I don't know if I've ever seen a picture of Sam Flannel with other than the wedding photo in the back.
Yeah.
In the back office.
I've never seen
wedding
him.
Photo of
I've never seen him in person without a flannel on.
No.
In my life. Think about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's, for those of you that are just joining the show that have just jumped on board, we are, that is the reason why. David, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Hey, Neal, do you think college basketball programs are hurt by the fact that players can leave after a year? I don't think the programs so much are hurt. I think college basketball's hurt because, look at, and this is something, too, as the NBA draft happens, I want to do this on its own, give it its due diligence. But if you look at the NBA draft this year, Spenmo, you're an NBA guy. The top 2 picks, what do they have in common?
Didn't go to college.
Didn't go to college. Didn't play in college.
Possibly 5 of the top 6 picks
will not have played in college.
Will not have played in college.
And I'm curious to know, this will be the ultimate test, right, for my theory, DMAC, of fans today like the transaction more than the action. Like, they love drafts, they love trades. Look at it. What if we came on the air today and said, let's recap that Tigers doubleheader yesterday. But what if the Tigers traded Javi Baez? Not that they could. That's a fantasy scenario.
That's opening every show.
We'd have a party in here. Why are they do? Is that what's happening for Cinco de Mayo tomorrow?
Oh my God! Don't even make
Why'd
me
you bring it
think
up?
about that.
Bring it up. Manifest it.
I'm speaking
While
into
we're
existence.
bringing it up, make sure everybody. I'm just double checking. Right, lottery draft for hockey's Monday. Make sure before you put your head on your pillow, say a little prayer to the hockey gods. Because even though Steve Eisman is a sorcerer, and we know that, he needs all the help he can get. Thank you, Detroit Red Wings. Bingo ball. One or two. Stevie really likes the kid out of Michigan.
Bricked for Bedard.
No, we want Bedard.
Bricked. Bricked for Bedard.
Bricked for Bedard, yeah. I mean, if I got it. Listen, you need me to be bricked up all weekend for Bedard. All right, if that's what it takes,
you're the
that's
man
what
to do
it
it.
takes.
Oh my God, I would cream my shorts if the Red Wings got the #1 pick. Honestly, like that would cement a dynasty.
How about this idea? Your mom's favorite skater, first day off the flannel, says Sam should have to wear a Nebraska football T-shirt.
Oh,
that would be electric.
That would be electric.
That was a terrible prediction by mine.
You know what? Even though that would be huge, and you know what? Some people think that he got off lightly for that Scott Frost beginning of the year last year, and that's what he would do to be. If he did wear it, we could finally bury that. But you know what, Sam? You're not obligated to do something like that.
I appreciate that. I don't think I've gotten off easy, by the way.
You should wear a Ben Wallace jersey.
No.
What would you rather wear, a Nebraska football T-shirt or a Ben Wallace jersey?
We'll let the people decide.
No. Spenny, he's not allowed to wear a Ben Wallace. Thank you very much.
Fair.
No, he's been banned.
That's fair.
From any Ben Wallace attire.
You should wear a Steph Curry
Until
jersey.
Ben, face to face, lets him off the hook if he does.
Yeah, but getting back to it though, the reason that I believe the NBA, I don't want to say they're on dangerous ground because that's not a realistic statement, because we like high-level basketball. We will watch high-level basketball. We will. But it will be a colliding of two worlds where the fan that likes the transaction and draft and everything like that, I think the biggest sell of a draft, what gives us power to think that Jack Campbell will be good or Jack Campbell will be a bust, is because we watched him play for about 50 minutes. Right? You know, like
all 50 of them.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we saw him play. So we think, therefore, because we saw him play, that we're talent evaluators. And I think that's the sell for the NFL draft. I think that's the sell for the NBA draft. And NBA and the draft and everything like that, it will run up against something. Our love for the transaction, because of the known quantity, we are going to see continually less and less and less players in the NBA draft that we watched in college, because college basketball is going away. And while we say we love college basketball, we don't. We love high-level players. That's what we love. How were the ratings for the Final Four this year?
Not great.
Not great.
See, remember how, and you look at the evolution and you trace it back. It used to be 3-4 year guys. You could get into a school and a group
and they played
of
for
guys
your school.
that played for your school, and you get committed. Now it's one and dones. And now you even look like you nailed it, Neal, to the fact is you look at the top 5 guys in the draft going, and how many are going to be college guys? Right, like the college with the NIL and stuff is it's more murky into like semi-pro, but it's one and dones, and you can transfer here and transfer there. You don't like this, you can get more money here. It's turned into like a semi-professional game, and then to your point, see, that's where football, right, is the king, because they just keep rolling, and then you get into this year, right? So in the football draft, it's always fresh, because and yes, I know the pool from college and stuff like that is there, but you have years like this year, where first year in a while where we don't know what's going to go on at the beginning, so that really means that there's probably going to be transactions and trades and stuff like that. So we're all into it, as opposed to in the past where you know that these quarterbacks are going or guys going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you're still involved because of how it affects your team. And I think as you get better, it matters. But the thing is like, who watches college basketball? I mean, it used to be, everybody used to say, okay, it doesn't matter during the regular season now that I got my pool, my Final Four teams and stuff like this. You look at how even that's diminishing, right? And people don't even watch to the finals. Their team's out. If they're watching a guy or a team or a player, right, he's done. They don't even watch the finals.
If Wembanyama played in college right now and he were in the Final Four, Detroit fans would have locked into the Final Four.
Everyone would have.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, but I'm saying though, just our geocentric, atmosphere that we live in. Detroit fans would have locked into that, and it would have been electric, and everyone would be saying, "He's great. No, he sucks. He's great. He sucks." Like that's the thing that the NBA is going to run into, and college basketball is going to end up being the loser of it. It is. I mean, it just is. Sam Flannel, you broke it down. How many NBA draft picks played in the Final Four?
One. Probably the guard for UConn. Yeah.
That's it, man. We say we love college basketball, but we don't. We love high-level basketball. That's just the reality. So we'll see how it plays out. I got a Brad Holmes thing, and we know it, we realize it, we celebrated it last year, but until you see it in front of you, it's something pretty incredible about the Lions defense. When we come back, we are going to get into that. D-Mac, Brad Holmes walked into a big project.
Well, you know what? You know that he's got his back. Alta, because that Alta uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You got a bog project coming up. Alta Rent, they've got you covered. Call them today. 844, go to Alta. That's 844, go to Alta.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel here with you. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast while you're at it. You can rewind, fast forward. You didn't like a segment, boom, move past it, go back, listen to some of your favorite ones again. However you want to do it, feel free to roll around with that and hit the website up, woodwardsports.com. Got a lot of cool stuff on there, editorials, columns, all those types of things. Chuck Brewer, woodwardsports.com chat thread. Jump into there, get your thoughts out there. The biggest thing about a draft is hope, and if you don't know the players, it's hard to have hope, and that's fair. There is a slice of religion that goes in with drafts, right? Like hope. Like religion sells hope.
Right? But then you have trust or faith, right? And who's making it. So that's when it comes down to who's pulling the card, who's making the choices. That's why it's really, right? I think when we get frustrated is when we're not sure and we don't trust the guy who's been making the decisions, whether that's drafting, whether that's free agent signings, whether that's trades, right? Because we've seen it. We've seen it done well, and we've seen it not done well around here.
Yeah, no question.
So I think it's that gut feeling, right? About, oh my gosh, like, does this guy know what he's doing? And at the end of the day, that's what we feel around here after the dust settles, no matter how it feels. And I go to the polls that you did, Neal, and that we did on the station right after about the first round, where it felt like the buzz was like everybody was upset, but 70-30, it was pretty much okay. We accepted, and a lot has to do with the people choosing.
Grandpa Joe says, all right, I have to go take lunch. Charlie is chewing my food for me as I type this. And that's a very Grandpa Joe move. So, hey, you'll be missed, Grandpa Joe. Not by me, because I'll be glad you're gone. Because you're a POS. Never forget that, Grandpa Joe. Look you in the eyes and tell you that, too. Those clouded spiderwebby eyes with that dusty hair that you have, with your dusty nightgown that you've worn for 20 years. And then you got up and hit the gritty and went to with Charlie to the chocolate factory. So piss off, Grandpa Joe. All right, anyway, did want to talk some Lions. Did want to talk about Brad Holmes. I guess we have to weave this into the draft to some form or fashion. The defense that Brad Holmes walked into. And it's something for me where when I look at it, my biggest point of contention, D-Mac, about when Brad Holmes walked into the story, this was a starting defense the day Brad Holmes got the job. It was Trey Flowers, Danny Shelton, Romeo Quara still there, Christian Jones, Jelani Tavai, Jamie Collins, Desmond Trufant, Oruwariye was here, Jaron Kearse, and some person named Duron Harmon. That was the defense. No. Man, it's weird. That's weird. They never won games.
Not only, right, where I first look at that, and what do I see? I see big money on the books to Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers that you always talk about, that had to be expunged, right? He had to fall through, and until he could get those off, he was not in a position to make the moves he made this offseason, let alone the draft.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
That makes you puke, doesn't it?
You know what?
When you look at that right now, like
Spemo, don't do that to the people. Don't show it again.
Up again.
No, don't do it, Spemo. Don't do it, Spemo. Spemo.
Put up with Grandpa Joe. This is like Grandpa Joe drafted the defense. Like, look at how. Oh man. And do we have one about what it is now? Because of what it could be now? How much better than that? Just off the top of your head, without even seeing the roster, Neal, is the defense right now? Right now. With one guy.
Yeah.
Two guys. Start naming names. And that's before some of the rookies get even on the field. The free agents. Different guys that you re-sign.
Yeah, and if you look at it now, I mean,
wow.
Just real quick, pulling it up as you go across.
I got the whole depth chart.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was kind of pulling that up and take a look at it now, and just to see how different that all looks, and we know the names, and as you go across the board, you see the names that are out there, just the additions in free agency this year.
So the red name, this is from Devoted to Detroit on Twitter. The red names are returning from injury. Green names are rookies, yellow names are new acquisitions, and then white are returning players.
Yeah, I mean, and just look at it, too. From 2 drafts, going into 3 drafts now. And, look, I got to be fair, and I got to be honest, because my whole thing about the draft, and I was a big Jalen Carter guy, and I'm pounding the table, and what was my rallying point? I never want to have a team run for 300 yards against us in a half, ever. I want every team we play to punt at least once.
Yeah.
Like, that was my thing. But when you go back and look at what it was 2 years ago, I don't want to say it wasn't. That's an unrealistic or unfair expectation by me. But at the same time, sometimes you gotta look back and see how far you've come. And that's an incredible flip job by Brad Holmes. And I know I'm getting caught up in it. And I know
but
we're
you're not getting caught
up
in talking about the defense, right? We're not talking about the offense. We're talking about the defense.
Well, yeah, just based on what he walked into versus what it is
right?
now.
So, right, just to get it on point before Brandon Katz throws everybody off. Oh, yeah, but Neal, you inherited the 5 best offensive line. We're talking about the defense, and you look at what's improved and what's coming back and whatever else. When I look up there, you know who the wild card is to me? Tracy Walker. Missing the whole year, coming back. Like that's like the Mosley thing. You got 2 guys that have done it before and can still prove. I look at that, like, that's not even close to what he inherited.
Yeah. And just to bump that up, too, when Brandon Katz said Neal points out the bad players Holmes inherits, fails to mention he inherited a top 5 offensive line. It's a top 5 offensive line because of his very first draft pick. the best piece of that offensive line.
The gold jacket made it that way.
The gold jacket loading
Anyways,
is responsible.
Thanks for listening, playing.
But no, it is. It's for me to flip it, and I don't know, right? Like the Stoke not scared movement, and blindly they're going to win the division, they're going to win a playoff game, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm even me,
Who's blind?
even me getting caught up to it and pounding the table and saying the Super Bowl window is open now. I have to do it, D-Mac. I have to take a look back and remember that just 2 years ago, that was this team, man. Like, I'm getting swallowed up in it, but at the same time, I got to realize that.
You're not blind to it. You're the one that tells us in the NFL, you're in it. That just proves to you that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and the whole organization is acting like they're in their window right now. That's all you can ask for, the self-awareness. And it's coming from where you came from. So you got to know that this should give you more faith and trust in building. And now you got to wait and
does.
see.
It does. And like I'm saying,
you're not blind. I don't think it's blind.
Because somebody on here said, easy, Neal, about the Super Bowl stuff. But I would say the window is open. It's 3/4 open if it's not all the way open.
Easy to that because we have to get to the north first. It's a part of the journey. It's check. You can't get to the Mackinac Bridge without driving through Saginaw first, right? Or up 75. What I'm saying, right? That's what we're saying here, baby steps. But you just proved that they are acting like they know they're in the window. Are they not? Do you feel like your team and your general manager, from what he inherited 2 years ago, to now, knows that this is the window? That's not a guy being scared. That's a guy stoked as hell. Swinging his lightsaber around on May 4th. I love it.
I hope he's not doing that, because then the whole thing is sunk.
Whatever you
Brad
want.
Holmes definitely
no,
wants
not at all,
Star Wars.
dude. Tell him, Spenny. Not a chance. He is absolutely. He's Jedi right now.
Brad Holmes likes Star Wars.
He's performing at a Jedi. You give the confidence.
That would be a test of my symptom.
What?
More than passing on Jalen Carter.
If you like Star Wars?
Yeah, more than drafting Jack Campbell or taking running back at 12. The ultimate test of my symptom would be if it came out
I got a question.
that Brad Holmes was a Star Wars guy.
You said enjoy what you enjoy, but now you're going to judge somebody on what they enjoy.
No, I didn't say I was judging him.
Well,
I said it would be a test of my symptom.
Right, which means that you would take away points for him being a Star Wars.
No, I just said it would be a test. I'm confident I would
Brad,
still come. I would come out on the other side.
Dan Campbell, Jalen Carter, what we heard is interesting. Is that
yes,
what it is? Okay.
That's exactly what I would say.
On this one.
In my media availability, I would say it was interesting. It was interesting.
And I would say I don't care. I hope Brad Holmes is a Star Wars guy. He probably is. That's how cool he is. But if he's not, I'm still cool with him. Right, Spenny?
Yep.
We're down.
For sure.
Down with the Holmes.
We don't judge. Like Neal.
Philip Cross. Hey, Neal. Mets money line today with JV on the mound.
It's not that easy, guys, and I know exactly why, because it's here. If it was in New York after what happened, he'd probably laying third furnace down.
Let me just take a peek.
He's gonna peak, guys.
It's his first start of the year.
And that's what's got me kind of concerned about it.
Are you gonna beat Mad Max and JV back to back? Ooh, what's the number?
That'd be tough.
That's what I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull it up right now, and we'll see. I'll do it over the break, and I'll take a look, and I'll kick the tires. On surface, I like where you're at. On surface, this checks all the boxes. But let me see, guys. Give me 1 minute to peruse it and to take a look at it and to see what the story is. And I'll do it after I tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse issues. And their new podcast is called This is the S Word. Helps fight the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or you know someone that's struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, all of you at the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Get involved with the show, get your thoughts out there as well. And we are in the middle of talking Detroit Lions, but an interesting proposal just came to me. Philip Cross wants to know about the availability of a get right. I go off of conviction when I do these get rights. You guys know this. When I have one, and I don't play around with it. And already my hesitation leads me towards saying not for a get right, but man, that number. So JV Tigers, they gonna sweep the Mets? Justin Verlander on the mound, the Mets minus 170. That's it. Eduardo Rodriguez on the bump, been pitching well for the Tigers. I can't, Philip. I can't in good conscience.
What are the Tigers plus money?
Plus 145.
I'd take them.
I can't, in good conscience, Philip, associate the get right name to it because JV's coming off the surgery, man. Like, first start, like, how far is he going to go? For real. How many innings are you getting JV for? 5 tops.
Right.
Tops. I haven't heard that there's a pitch count or anything like that. I haven't heard that. But with that being said, you're getting 5 innings maximum.
Yeah, it's fair not to like it, Neal. That's why the get right's the get right.
Yeah.
You don't force it.
I'm not flippant about it.
I'd like to see them beat Scherzer and Verlander back-to-back. And with Eduardo Rodriguez, the way he's pitching, I think they got a good chance. At plus 145, that's where I go. Little lunch, little $20.
Yeah, D-Mac saying, hey, whatever you do for lunch, get a lunch on old Uncle D-Mac. Yeah. That's what he's calling for.
That's it.
Chuck Brewer, Neal, Verlander pitches a no-hitter today, calling it now. No, he's going 5 innings tops. Tops, Chuck. I just can't associate the get right name to it. We did cross the 40 threshold. Sam Flannel, mark me, 40-13.
That's a great record.
Thank you. You don't have to tell me. I'm the one that picked it.
Historically, actually.
Yeah, so I'm not there. We talked about the defensive side of the ball and the 180 that Brad Holmes has done with the defensive side of the ball. There's been a clear path. I think the most encouraging thing about Brad Holmes, about Steve Yzerman, there's an overt plan in place, and you can see it, and you can follow it, and it's apparent. Steve Yzerman's a guy that comes out and tells you it, to some degree.
And I think Brad Holmes does the same thing.
I agree with you. And here's another thing too, right? To give some context to the whole Hendon Hooker thing that exploded. For me, and Spenmo put it here on the show sheet, and I think he put it on here perfectly, said, is Brad Holmes tailoring this offense to Jared Goff? And Spenmo, the answer is unequivocally 1,000,000% yes.
Yeah.
He always was. From day one.
A lot of guys.
From picking Amon-Ra St. Brown. Right, like obviously, if you go back to looking at weapons and stuff like that,
to picking Penei Sewell first out of the chute.
There you go. But yeah, and keep putting around because what is the conversation that we all have as far as Goff, whether we like him or not, right? We got to keep him mobile. Like we got to keep him upright. We got to protect him. We got to get the ball out of his hands and make it easier. When he can make the play and the read and stuff, and when he's getting protected and he's cooking, he is like number 2 or 3 quarterback in the NFC. right? We see when they get pressure on him, and we know what his deficiencies are. We do. So does the team, and I think that's why it works with Jared Goff. It's because they've insulated him. Other teams, we talk about it all the time, right? First time it seems that like Arizona got their head out of their ass. They paid Kyler Murray all this money. Now it seems like they're insulating him. You look at, you look at what we mentioned with what Philly did. You look at what we mentioned with Seattle. Some of these teams insulate Geno Smith. Look at how he got in. Even though they drafted Anthony Richardson to work behind him, they got Jigba Smith, and another wide receiver, and but who else they got? They got K9, right? So they started it last year. Like I look at a lot of similarities in Seattle, the way that they sort of put together their offense around Geno Smith is sort of the way that Detroit puts it around. You got to insulate him, and look at that. So you got Geno Smith, Jared Goff, Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker. There's a lot of similarities in how their offenses are built.
Duke Wilmington in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread said Neal hates Hendon Hooker, and that is not true. Number one, I don't hate Hendon Hooker. I just question the pick because, as we see, and if we put this on a poll, we say, is Brad Holmes building this offense to tailor Jared Goff? If ever we were going to have a 100% poll, that would be it. It's obvious. So to me, Spenmo, and I didn't think about it till you brought it up, that just further solidifies my point about Hendon Hooker. If everything goes to plan, he's never going to play.
Yeah, but Hendon Hooker is also surrounding Jared Goff. Like, part of the plan was putting Hooker there to back him up, right? As the backup, that's his role. And to learn under him, but maybe never play.
Yeah, I just don't understand how a backup develops by never playing. That's my question.
The security blanket, how does it? By being there, because maybe the maturity. I trust that Brad Holmes knows a lot more than I do. I look at this as because they needed to address it, because Brad Holmes told me this. How many times I bring this up? Go back to the end of the season. We don't want to be in this situation with the backup quarterback we were this year. Hendon Hooker's part of surrounding Jared Goff, Neal. That is about surrounding Jared Goff to be the best he can. Hendon Hooker backing him up in Brad Holmes' mind, I believe 100% is part of that.
See, I just go back to it. Peyton Manning was 3-13 and threw 1 million interceptions as a rookie.
He's not playing. It's a security blanket to learn and stuff like this as he goes. I don't know. It's what I read. This is a translation I got from Brad Holmes on that, Neal. Right? And it's whether to be right or to agree or whatever else, that's who they went with because they figured that makes the team as a whole better. But maybe, I don't know what it is. Jared Goff needs that security behind him or something, or they just felt that way. I think they're higher on Hooker, and I think Hooker's, further along that they believe. This is what they believe. That's why they drafted him. That's why they picked him instead of anybody else. You bring up Jake Moody, but that's not just your point. Your point is somebody that can impact. Right, impact. Well, I believe that Brad Holmes believes that Hendon Hooker will have that impact on this Lions team.
And I didn't want it to go back down that road. I mean, I knew that was the way it was going to end up. The Hendon Hooker thing, Spenmo, is kind of becoming like a Michigan State thing, where if you even get in the area code of the topic, it's going to come back to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's got those vibes.
Yeah,
man.
for sure. It's very divisive.
It is. It's wild. It's wild how that. Kevin Bell says Favre threw 30 interceptions his rookie year, some crazy-ish like that. He threw 30 interceptions every year.
Yeah.
You want to go back through it? The most unbreakable record in sports, outside of Cy Young winning 500 games or whatever that, 80 complete games in a year or whatever it was. The most unbreakable record in sports, and Flannel marked me on this one, Brett Favre's interception record will never be broken. Never, ever, ever.
No, the only person that would have a chance would be if they let Jameis Winston healthily play for 15, 20 years. But, that's
he
obviously
doesn't
he
play because and why doesn't he play? Because he throws so many interceptions.
Brett Favre threw 336 interceptions.
You have to throw 33 interceptions a year for a decade, and you're still not there.
That's pretty wild.
Can Jameis Winston get that many snaps?
No.
The rest of his career? Hey, I got a question for you because Corey Berry brought it up, Neal.
Yes.
Because you're big on this. Neal, Brad was compensated not once but twice to draft Hooker.
No, and for those of you that remember, a lot of people have selective memory. D-Mac, what did I say that very first day? I said the thing.
You said the Gibbs pick was you could handle the Gibbs.
And I said the Hooker gamble, the Hooker roll of the dice was in principle I could understand doing it because he created it. He created the ability to take them. He did. Now the defensive tackle he took, he shoved on, he pushed on that one. The Hendon Hooker thing, he created the capital to do that. So from that stamp, like I'm not. It's very cut and dry with me. I think at that spot, you could have gotten somebody that would impact the team next year that could possibly be the difference between you winning a playoff game and not winning a playoff game. The Hendon Hooker thing, while it was a, quote, luxury pick, because nobody expects him to play this year, right? Spenmo?
No.
You hate Jared Goff.
I don't hate Jared Goff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, how would you term it? You don't believe in Jared Goff.
I don't want to pay Jared Goff.
So you don't believe him? You don't believe in him?
As a franchise quarterback, no.
Okay. I knew we'd get there. That's why we talked through these things.
Yes.
You don't believe in Jared Goff.
That's fair. Aggressive, but fair.
You, in your wildest imagination, would never for a second say that Hendon Hooker would play this year.
No, I don't want him to either.
And that's fair.
That's
I want Jared Goff to play
every single game.
That's my point about the Hendon Hooker thing. That, in a nutshell, is my point about the Hendon Hooker thing.
And my point would be, to your point, that he created it, so he made something out of nothing, right? Because that's his guy. And just like your get-right pick, Neal, that's Brad Holmes' get-right pick.
That's my word, and it's stronger than oak. LV.
Hey, RM Dole 19, lick my balls.
All right. LV the fourth, spin doctoring at its best.
My balls was hot.
LV the fourth, you never get that from me, man. I don't spin doctor stuff. That is something, D-Mac, mark me on that. You're the minister of integrity. When the Hendon Hooker pick was made, what was said?
Yeah.
He created the capital to do it. That's it.
The whole point is you think that, like, the points, and we'll find out, right? You just thought there's somebody that would help your team today more than what Hendon Hooker was. And
That's
Brad
it, that's
Holmes is
all.
telling you, no, this guy is my guy because of whatever else. And it's sort of in case. It's better than, wouldn't you rather have a Hendon Hooker and obviously coming off the ACL or whatever to give him time to come back, but he's a better choice than any of the other backup quarterbacks that are available out there for the money that they're available. So in the third round, I mean, that's, to me, it's when you look at it, Brad Holmes playing chess in a certain way.
And here's the other thing, too, because I got this a lot. Soft Jones says, you're spinning this your own way. JMO was the same reasoning, but he was worth a first-rounder. Hooker is worth a third-rounder. See, Soft Jones, this is not apples to apples. Last year was a punt. Last season was a punt. The Detroit Lions themselves knew that now granted, things turned. They were 1-6. They knew that there was going to be some pain last year, and there was. They didn't expect it to turn this quickly, I'm sure. But the Jameson Williams was a pick for the future. Nobody expected that, especially when they were 1-6. You all can raise your hand and say, "Oh, I knew it was going to happen." Not one person in the world expected that. Remember we did that show Monday, Spenny, after they were 1-6?
Yep.
I remember a poll we took. Should Dan Campbell survive this season? I remember that poll. 68% of the people said no.
I was I quoted on Heavyweights that I was on the edge of the plank. I didn't jump yet, but I was on the edge of the plank.
Toes were hanging off.
And then I started backing up and backing up.
Then you remembered all the rum was on the ship.
Now I'm on the poop deck. I just wanted to say poop deck. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, well, hey, whatever it is. D-Mac, haircut. I'm getting one Friday. Where you think I'm going?
You're going right over there because that's the closest Lady Jane's there is, Neal. And you know what? How would you like to win a new vehicle for you and a friend? That's right, a new car for you, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, boyfriend, best bud, or even Spenmo Racks. He's always in for a new vehicle. Just get to Lady Jane's and automatically register for your chance to win, courtesy of Les Stanford, Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week, walk-in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Ratz, or all of you, woodwardsports.com, chat thread. Remember, subscribe to the podcast page, Big D Energy Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast. And the woodwardsports.com YouTube channel. It's popping off, as the kids would say. woodwardsports.com, chat thread question, Thomas Perry, Neal. And I guess this question would be for Spenny. What will it take to get Goff off of Spence in the heavyweights mid-list? Is that even possible with those guys? I'll pose that question to you, Spenmo.
Super Bowl win. And 5,000 yard, 40 touchdown season, like elite quarterback stats. Like, he's good. Like, I've said that. Am I not on record? Fantastic season. He's a good quarterback. He's a good starting quarterback in the NFL.
So if he took a step numbers-wise backwards this year.
Yeah.
But they get in the playoffs and they get on a heater and they won the Super Bowl.
Oh.
He still would be mid to you.
Yeah, I mean, Trent Dilfer.
And you still wouldn't pay him.
So it's stats. Spenny.
Who wins the Super Bowl?
Spenny, is it still stats driven for you with Goff, or is it now team win driven?
It's ability and once you bring the position.
Like my point being to where you're at, right? The fact that Goff's numbers could go down, but he gets you into the playoffs. He proves that he can win a playoff game. He shows you, like he's shown you last year, that he's a more capable quarterback, that he's your guy. Then you're going to be, you're going to accept and be all in if he's the guy to man this ship, even though he's not putting up the numbers of the elite.
It depends on the paycheck. Like I said, Ryan Tannehill won playoff games in Tennessee. Alex Smith won playoff games in Kansas City. Dakota Rain Prescott won playoff games in Dallas. It's winning a playoff game doesn't mean I'm going to pay you $40+ million. And if I think the elite of the elite deserve that kind of, the only quarterback I'd pay that much money to when you're talking 45+ is Patrick Mahomes. The old cut draw, maybe Joe Burrow.
Because Joe Burrow's going to get 60.
He's going to get 60
very soon.
Trevor Lawrence will get 60.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert will get 60. And none of them will ever
that
go
one
to
should
the Super
outrage
Bowl.
you, right?
And none
the
of them
Justin
will go
Herbert
to the Super
one?
Bowl after they get paid.
So are we more acceptable to 45 for Goff?
Not for me. No,
if those guys are making 60, what do you think?
Is he 75% of those guys?
They're making 60, and it's a bad contract. Like, they're not going to make the Super Bowl if they're making 60.
But you got to remember, the new 60 is the old 50.
Yeah, and 50 would still be bad. Like, that's what it is for me. Is just because it's, look at how much money Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, look at how much money they're making.
Who got?
Dakota Rain Prescott, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, those are bad contracts. I don't want to be like, oh, because they have bad contracts, we have to give our quarterback a bad contract. That doesn't equate for me.
Okay. It sounds like economics.
Yeah, it is. Like my dead point with Jared Goff,
ignoring the laws of economics.
If we got
and market value.
Are you buying a depreciating asset? Are you going to invest in Penn right now? Like, no, it's not something I'm willing to do to hamstring my team for a good quarterback. It's a great quarterback. Yeah, I'd pay $45+ million to. But a guy that we've seen what happens when he gets paid and the talent depreciates around him. Jared Goff is a good quarterback. I would pay him the Derek Carr deal, which is $38 million a year. That is my idea. If you're talking extension, give him the 3-year Derek Carr. I'd be cool with that. You wouldn't hear me complain. But after you go over 40, no, I'm good.
Yeah, but the market dictates higher. Like, he's saying 38, and that's not even realistic because the 38's the old 28.
I mean, D-Mac, to be fair, there was a young Sam Flannel at one time when you signed your deal with the Red Wings that said, "What are you doing giving this mid guy all this money?" He was calling WDFN back in the day and being like, "This guy's mid. What are we doing giving him all this money?" But that was the market.
But that was never me because I was always paid mid, so that's what it was. But you can't get mad at the market. Like the market, like he's talking about, if they're these guys, you're talking not just one guy breaking the bank, and somebody in the chat said that he would be surprised if Burrow got 70. And you know what? That's where I asked yesterday or one of the shows this week about the cap keeps going up, everything keeps going up, the inflation keeps going up. I think if you're lucky, if you're talking Brad Holmes saying 12 to 15 months. That's before a year in a season, right? All these other guys, the longer you wait, I think 45 is a deal to what it is, because he's gonna get high because everybody else does. We've seen this. It's economics in the NFL. As it keeps building, the money keeps going up, the owners keep going, the salaries keep going up. Look at the wide receivers. The wide receivers are getting paid like old quarterbacks.
Speaking of that, Lamar Jackson's addressing the media right now after signing his 5-year, $260 million contract with the Ravens. So, as you go across the landscape of the biggest contract in NFL football, 5 for $260. Now, $185 of it's guaranteed.
No agent.
And by the way, like when they say $185 guaranteed, if you want to get granular, he's pushing $200 million guaranteed because he didn't have to give any to an agent. Mm-hmm. Oh, Lamar needs an agent. What's Lamar doing? Lamar got off just fine.
Yes, he did.
Stick to your guns.
And he did. Yeah. You know what? I know he's a lightning rod, and maybe I'll get killed for this, but I don't care because I believe it, and that's what I do. I don't look into a camera and lie to you guys like some people do in this business. I don't do that. I don't operate like that. Good for Lamar Jackson.
Here's the thing.
Good for Lamar. Because,
absolutely.
D-Mac, as you said, He drew a line in the sand and said, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm going to get, and I have the talent. Because in the end, D-Mac, why did it get done? He has the talent.
Here's the thing, right? No matter what, he's the opposite. Like, I love the genuineness of this kid, and he's the opposite of Aaron Rodgers. Because he is genuine, stick to his gun, and it was more of principle. And you know what? Yeah, you could question because all that money's at stake, and it's more money than any of us will ever know. But he stuck to his guns with what he believed is right, and for whatever else, I respect that. I mean, he got his money. Aaron Rodgers got his wishes, and look at the way they done it. I respect the way Lamar Jackson did it a lot more. He's genuine. And you got to respect that out of anybody like that. And the lightning rod, and, motivated now.
Yeah.
What's that mean? You see him, and you can't see, but if you're watching his press conference, he's sitting beside John Harbaugh, the head coach, and they're yucking it up and stuff like this. He's all in now, right? And Baltimore obviously is all in with him. So, I mean, could be exciting. Might want to draft him a little bit higher in your fantasy team. Just saying.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Your mom's favorite skater, Lamar Jackson, is now the highest paid running back in NFL. It doesn't matter. He's the highest paid player in football right now, going off the AAV of the contract, obviously.
And everything's only going up, right? He's a quarterback, and that's just going to push all the rest of the contracts going up and stuff like this. So, and that's one guy, too, as athletes, that the money, to me, ain't going to dictate. He ain't going to slow down his play. That's going to motivate him more to prove everybody, right? Different athletes, sometimes they get paid, and, it's just going to, more been what Terry Foster used to call it, the Detroit Lions retirement plan. Used to be here, guys sign their last contract and not play and get paid by the Lions. That's not the case anymore.
Absolutely. Someone asked me too, Neal, would you rather Hendon Hooker be with Minnesota or Green Bay? I would have no fear of that. Especially too, I would have Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston. I'm not scared of that. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Brandon Katz, Lamar was dumb. He got lucky. The Ravens had no leverage. Oh, he got lucky. Or I would say,
how do you
Brandon,
play the leverage game, Neal? He got lucky. Oh my God, the leverage game is knowing you have the power, and obviously, his power play. He power played it.
Yeah. And apparently, Brandon Katz loves Will Levis as well, and so Will Levis went to the second round. So the Ravens could have had Will Levis. But no leverage.
Instead, we'll make Lamar Jackson the highest paid player in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
But he's dumb. He doesn't have an agent.
Yep.
Come on, guys. That crowd's real quiet now. I'm not seeing any of that in here.
No, dude got a bag. And the GM was like, yeah, he should be an agent after he retires. Like, he did a great job.
Because it's simple. It's very simple. If Lamar Jackson does not play for the Ravens next year, guess what happens?
They are a top 10 picking team. They don't make the playoffs. They have a top 10 pick in the NFL draft.
What happens if he does play?
They make the playoffs.
That's proven.
Probably win the division.
And for all the people that say, oh, he's trash, he's a running back, all that kind of stuff, that doesn't apply. None of that applies. What happens if he plays to the Ravens? What happens if he doesn't play for the Ravens? You just so eloquently
now, are you going by
broke
history?
It down.
Are you going by facts?
I'm going by what happens.
You're going by facts.
Yeah.
Factual?
100%
100% factual.
He wins more than he loses. A lot more.
Yep. So there you have it. It is. It's proven. He did the job. He did it the way he said he was going to do it, and he did it. And there he's sitting on the stage right now, the highest paid player in the history of the National Football League. So good for you, Lamar Jackson. You deserve it all because you deserve whatever you negotiate, and that's what he negotiated. So good for him. And that's it. Steve O'Baby says, Neal, Adam is right. You don't win games in April. No, you don't. You win them during the season, like Lamar Jackson has done for the Ravens. Leverage is a very simple concept to understand, everybody. Just like energy drinks. Very simple to understand that. Cintron is the GOAT. That's it. That's all. The official energy drink of the Red Wings. Proudly served at Little Caesars Arena and Keyworth Stadium. So Saturday night, you want to slide on out, you can smash a Cintron at Keyworth Stadium watching Detroit City FC. They have an exclusive offer for Woodward Sports fans. The Red Wings 6-pack. $15, free shipping right to your door. Boom. DrinkCintron.com/Woodward. You can try them all. The great tasting Cranberry, Classic, and sugar-free. So you know what? Why wait? DrinkCintron.com/Woodward. $15, free shipping to your door. If you haven't tried it yet, this is the play, everybody. D-Mac smashes them when he's at LCA or when he's at Keyworth. He tweeted out a picture of it. That's my son's go-to when we go to LCA as well. That's what he likes. Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. It's Cintron, Darren McCarty.
Drink it, live it, love it with Cintron.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization, we serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers. You feeling tired, depressed? Are you unmotivated? Do you have low sex drive? Maybe some muscle loss, belly fat piling up? Testosterone optimization therapy. That's an effective way to restore your vitality, your confidence, your performance, and while you're at it, reduce your risk for heart disease. How about that? Go to CustomHealthCenter.com today. Again, that's CustomHealthCenters.com today, or give them a call, 877-965-0910. It's Custom Health Centers. Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Happy to have you along for the ride. Everybody jumping in to the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Big thank you to everybody, too, if you're just checking us out, coming off the heat of the NFL draft. Pushing 50,000 views of the NFL draft show, which is wild, all of it. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. If you just checked us out for the first time, appreciate you tapping in. And hope you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, all of that. And I had a question for everybody. Do we get to the point, like, let's just put the cards on the table. Can we talk NBA playoffs or no?
I hope so. Should I pull it?
Yeah.
Okay, please, guys.
Are we allowed to talk NBA playoffs or no? And the reason I ask that is because now that the first round's come and go, this is what you want, right? Like, these are juicy matchups.
Philly got popped last night.
Yeah, weird. The MVP, the guy that's better than Jokic,
comes back.
4 made field goals. Huh. Weird. And they lost by 35. Flannel?
No, I mean, Joel Embiid, that's always going to be one of the knocks on him. Either he's not available in the postseason or his play diminishes a little bit. I think he's averaging 19 and 9 this postseason on he's shooting in the teens from 3, and that's a bbig part of his game. He was awful last night. But then again, speaking of awful, how about Jason Tatum? He got carried by the Celtics yesterday. He was a disaster.
Marcus Smart was balling last night. Grant Williams had a great game, and obviously Jaylen Brown. So the Celtics are deep, man. They got the deepest, if not the second deepest team in the league. It's them and the Nuggets that have the deepest rosters in the playoffs.
They're deeper than the Nuggets are.
Yeah.
I believe that 100%.
I would say so, too. When you got Horford as your 7th guy coming off the bench, it's pretty good. Peyton Pritchard was in when they were down 30, and he was getting nasty buckets. Like he would be a rotation guy on a couple of these teams. He'd be a rotation guy on the Suns. He'd be a rotation guy on Philly. And he is the 9th guy off the bench for the Celtics. So I really think it's going to be Denver-Boston. I hope so. That would be such a good finals.
It would be. Aaron S. says these playoffs have been great, so people are tapping in. Brandon Katz, Embiid is better than Jokic. He wasn't healthy. Yeah, he's never healthy, Brandon. That's what I always hear. He's not healthy. He's not healthy. He's not healthy. I know. D-Mac, you're like
hey, the Joker's just doing it. When you say best player in the NBA and stuff like that, the thing that mentioned in playoff time with NBA, I'm going to tie in the NHL because it's what we talked about. You saw some similarities, and I hope you're right because I got to get that coffee bet back. But between the Suns being done and just the dominance of Denver and Jokic last night, but also too in hockey, Vegas and Edmonton. How about that? How crazy is that? Anybody who didn't know, back-to-back in the NHL. 2 4-goal game performances, one by Pavelski, Dallas, and last night by Draisaitl, both in losing causes.
I know. I was going to bring that up in the next segment. Edmonton's got a problem.
That I see exactly when you said that about the Suns being done.
Yeah.
And even to,
I'm getting Suns vibes from Edmonton right now.
Absolutely. And I think you get that and you see, because what do you also see in order to get that? You see other teams getting stronger, other teams growing, right? You saw that, and you especially see that. And I'd say if you're watching especially the NHL playoffs, right? It's watch the teams and how they play 5-on-5. And now it's like staying out of the box. And now it's, because the power play, Edmonton's power play is keeping them in the series, right? And they can't even win the game. So it's just, I think that, am I right? Like Denver looks like they're just all over Phoenix, and they can't wait. If Phoenix could make this a 3-game series, they would.
Chris Paul's out now. And Chris Paul's going to be missing games 3 through 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kevin Durant needs to go for at least 50 in these next games if they want to win.
Huh. I'm stunned that he's going to miss, a block of time in the playoffs.
Yeah, it happens every year. Literally every year.
People need to chill with that CP3 Isaiah Thomas talk. And all that kind of stuff.
Is Lakers Warriors best series right now in the NBA?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, just all encompassing, like the.
I don't know. I feel like if Jimmy comes back, Heat Knicks.
Well, from a basketball thing.
Yeah.
But it's not just about
it's not
basketball.
the biggest draw.
Yeah, like the LeBron sycophants, LeBron haters, they'll converge. The Data Davis crowd, the Steph Curry haters like Sam Flannel that are out there, Draymond's contingent, everything like that. Like, it's got everything, D-Mac. It does. And that's why I'm glad, we put it on the poll. Can we talk NBA playoffs? 53% of you said yes.
I cut it off early because I saw it. It was getting down there.
Because you're out there fitting the narrative,
yes,
Sam Flannel.
Yes. I was going to cut it at 60, but I let it ride for a little bit.
They were closing hard, so you closed the door.
Yeah.
Matthew Kruger says, I hate when you talk about other teams. It's called Woodward Sports. Matthew, what do you want me to do? We haven't been in the playoffs in this town in 7 years, man.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
We can only talk about the Lions for 2 hours for 5 months.
For real, man. And I'm not, I'm not
man.
being mad at. I'm not giving you shade or hate or anything like that. What would you do, Matthew? What if you're a sports show? What are you going to talk about?
When will the Pistons be back in the playoffs?
248. For real, Matthew. What's the answer then? What do you want? Let's recap that doubleheader yesterday, right? Let's talk Javi. He's back, baby. The Tigers are back. I mean, come on, Matthew. What are we supposed to do here, man?
We're in the dead period. We're getting there. And right now, the most important things happening in the sports world are the NBA and NHL playoffs.
Yeah.
Draft's over. Free agency's over. Tigers suck. Come on.
Yeah. And look, we have vested takes in it. I'm all in. Jokic has got to cash this one in, man.
Yeah.
He's got to. He's got to.
I want to see the Knicks make the conference finals. That'd be pretty cool.
No, let's not get crazy.
That'd be pretty cool.
Let's not get crazy.
Hey, Randall looked good. When Randall came back, he looked good. He was balling. Nobody on that team can guard him. Nobody. He's too big for Bam. And he's too quick for the other guys.
This is a conversation for two right here. So we'll wrap this up in about 45 seconds. I have a question for you about Julius Randle.
Okay.
This is going to say, I've always talked about Fergie. And a buddy of mine asked me one time, is Fergie an ugly hot chick or a hot ugly chick?
She is a hot ugly chick.
Ugly hot chick or a hot ugly chick?
Yeah.
That's a good
question. Is she the Mendoza line?
I don't know. I don't get into that kind of thing, so I'll spin this and ask you this in a basketball perspective. Julius Randle, is he a great good player or a mid-star player?
He's a great good player,
okay.
I think. Yeah.
There was conviction right there.
Yeah,
I heard you double clutch with the Fergie one.
Yeah, he's a great good player.
Okay.
He's not a star, but he could, fall in and out of the All-Star game every other year. He'll show up. If he's got guys next to him, the team can do so. He's a great good player.
So is a great good player one of those guys that needs somebody around him?
Yeah.
Right? So he's only as good as what you put him around?
Yeah, but he's not going to he's not going to be the difference.
Does he make other people better? Right? So sometimes maybe not it's and the Mendoza line is like the 200 line, right?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I love our audience, man. I love our audience. J. Cruz in 71. How this is pertinent to anything, I don't know, but it is. J. Cruz in 71. Out of left field. Fergie admitted to pissing on stage. Okay.
See, I always go to the Fergie angle. She married Josh Duhamel, right? Yep. And that, so I mean, I don't think he's got a something wrong with his eyes.
The Fergie paradox, as Jack started.
That was okay. Fergie facts. I guess we're doing Fergie facts now.
Matthew Kruger says Tigers get no love on Woodward Sports. A special love they should be getting right now after taking 2 from the Mets.
We talked about the Tigers.
I did talk about the Tigers in the first segment. Subscribe to the podcast, Matthew, and you can go back and rewind and listen to that. Matthew, yes, they won 2 against the Mets. They're still on pace to win 68 games this year. 68. And guess what? Javi Baez has a player option. He ain't going nowhere. He's your shortstop. Lock it. Like that's, the Cabrera thing, Matt. I'd be curious to know your thoughts on Miguel Cabrera, Matthew, because you're going to relive Miguel Cabrera with Javi Baez.
Without them triple crown. He did win. Didn't Javi won an MVP? I'm pretty sure.
I think he was second.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't win.
Yeah. So get ready. You're going to have that right now with Javi Baez. So lock it in. And without the triple crowns and arguably the greatest right-handed hitter of your generation.
Yeah. And with the chase rate. That is, remember when we talked about that at Big Boy?
Yeah.
Cabrera's chase rate compared to Javi's, so it was
so there you have
staggering.
That. So lock into it.
You know what you should lock into for lunch?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Cousins Maine Lobster. That's what you got to lock into because Cousins Maine Lobster brings the best of the Maine coast to Detroit. Try the variety of sweet, succulent Maine Lobster menu items at their 2 food trucks rolling around the city. You can find their events scheduled on cousinsmainelobster.com and through their mobile app where you can easily order ahead and earn rewards. You can even scan that QR code right there and figure out where they are rolling around the city. So make sure you check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians who take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to give Guardian Alarm a call right now. The number, 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. But I need you to call the number. Now, 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserve technology that's been proven to work. And people, yes, flesh and blood, who has been proven to care. They care so much, they probably cleaned up that dribble that Fergie had on the stage, but they've been protecting Sam Flannel's flannel protection. How many straight days, sir?
269.
269 straight days of flannel protection. Bing, bang, boom, there it is. They'll do whatever it takes. Personal, business, even for that guy. So they'll definitely do it from you. But I need you to call the number today. Give Guardian Alarm a call. The number, 1-800.
Stay out of all superstar conversations, Jason Tatum. Maybe don't shoot 1 for 7 in a playoff game.
Wow, okay, he's definitely a superstar. That's a little blasphemous. But stay out of the lineup, Jimmy Butler, for a couple more games. I need the Knicks to win this.
Stay out of exercising that option, Javi Baez. Please? Please?
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. May the 4th be with you. Give him a call. Tell him Big D Energy sent you.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, Dan G. Black Eyed Peas were better before Fergie. I would say they didn't have the commercial appeal.
No.
So if you ask the Black Eyed Peas, they prefer the bag over, quote, being better before Fergie.
Spoken from a
My
true
swim
bag
coach
man.
used to hate the Black Eyed
Bag
Peas
nose
so
bag,
much.
right, baby? Bag nose bag, baby.
Yep.
He used to hate the Black Eyed Peas. Was a passion.
Who's that?
My swim coach,
Yeah.
Coach Charlie.
Hey, small flex. I got a couple buddies who are actually from here that do the set design, travel across all around the world with Black Eyed Peas and do their set design. So back in the day when they were, I think it was even at the Palace before it was down, like it's like a little city, you know, being backstage and walking through all the contraptions. If you've seen a Black Eyed show, sat the sound booth, man, it was an awesome show. I mean, that stuff.
It's wild, everything that goes into that, man.
Oh, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
The product, tear it down, pick it up, tear it down. Oh, you know, world tours and stuff like that. It's nuts.
What were you shouting out the swim coach, Spenny?
Yeah, Coach Charlie Rodis. That's my guy. He's my coach for 9 years.
Not the Black Eyed Peas guy, though.
Not the black. Not he hated the Black Eyed Peas. Like if we played him at practice, I don't know. He just despised them.
That's weird.
It's pretty funny. We play him in practice, and he'd go like rip the phone out of the wall.
Chris wanted to know: would you pay Jared Goff or Julius Randle?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's literally the same thing.
Fair enough. Did want to wrap it up with this. We were talking NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. D-Mac, my Oilers are in trouble last night, and I'm getting Phoenix Sun vibes from the Oilers because in much the same fashion that the Suns didn't beat Denver when Jamal Murray was 3 of 16, like that's when you can get Denver. When Jamal Murray is 3 of 16. He'll have 2 more games like that in the series because that's the way he operates. When Jamal Murray goes 3 of 16, you have to beat them. Conversely, for the Edmonton Oilers, when Draisaitl has a 4-goal game in the playoffs, you have to win that game. You have to. That's it. That's all. Have to win that game. Have to, and they didn't, and that's trouble.
Well, it doesn't get any easier. You know, the adversity. All these teams that are left. I think the greatest stat is that 2006 was the Carolina Hurricanes for the teams that are left in the playoffs. That's the last Stanley Cup champion. 3 teams have never won a cup. You know, Vegas has been there from day one, and I think you can really see like this is a sleeper team that maybe teams have been sleeping on. But, man, do they play hard? Do they play fast? And they have that experience from their first year of getting to the Cup finals. So they got a lot of their mainstay guys that are still there. The biggest thing for them is they got their captain, Mark Stone, back, who was supposed to be out with back surgery and stuff. And he's got 5 goals in playoffs and lighting it up and stuff like this. Edmonton, right, the adversity and another test that you have to face. You know, they got through it in the first round, but now they're facing it. Again, tonight, you see Toronto and Florida. Florida's going to give them. Toronto needs to win this game. Toronto and Edmonton being the only 2 Canadian teams left are the similarities, but they all also have to face that adversity and get over that mountain. And it's not going to be easy. And then you got the other series, the Seattle Kraken and Dallas Stars. I mean, nobody's telling this Kraken team they're not supposed to be there because they just keep winning. And I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting no matter what game you watch. And I think the exciting part, too, is when you think about it, arguably could be a first-time Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah, I know. And I'm here. That was the first time that the Florida Panthers have won a game in the second round of the playoffs since 1996.
Yeah, when they went to the finals.
And I didn't see them taking to the streets of Miami and, posting all these videos about everything like that, like these stupid Maple Leaf fans were doing.
Leave the Maple Leaf fans alone.
What? The Panthers hadn't done it since 96. They weren't acting the fool.
Here's the under the blanket, like under the surface. Look at the year that teams won the President's Trophy and got bounced early, first or second round or whatever. Like Florida Panthers were a President's Trophy winner last year.
Yeah.
They've been in there. They know how to win games. It's just learning how to win them at the right time. You saw in recent history Tampa Bay Lightning go through this. The year before, they won their back-to-back cups. So there's a lot of experience, even though there's some newer teams in there. And then you look at the guys that are doing it, right? Overtime the other night for Seattle, Yanni Gourde. Why do you know that name? Because he's part of that Tampa Bay, Goudreau, Gourde, Coleman line that was sort of their grind line for their championship. So the pedigree's spread around, even though some of these teams that you haven't heard of and they're in there for, the first time or haven't been there in a while. So that's what makes it exciting too.
Blue Lantern in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Neal's calling people a dork, but he used the word finna in a tweet. That's big in our group. We finna, finsta, all that kind of stuff. Dan G. Spence was a competitive swimmer. Ha. That is true.
All-state.
All-state. Put some respect on Spencer Raxter's name in the pool.
I had the best pull out in the state. Just saying.
How's that taste, Angie?
So when you dive in for breaststroke, so that was my event, was breaststroke. You dive in.
Of course it was.
Underwater like this. You stay underwater. You give one of those. And then you go like that, pull up. And so I was further than everyone else in my heat. And then obviously they passed me in like 2 seconds after we got out of the water because they were all. I was the only fat guy at States. The rest of them are 6'4", chiseled.
They probably shaved their body and stuff
I was like,
too.
Let's go, pussies! Like I was ready for it. It was fun.
Spenny, what a great way to end a Thursday, though.
Yep.
Your favorite stroke is the breast.
Breaststroke. That was my event.
As always.
Breaststroke, and then whatever else we needed to win.
No, Steven Seibert, it was not, quote, the belly flop. No, it was not. All-state. Put respect on Spencer Raxter's name.
We didn't have a dive team because our pool wasn't. You couldn't dive in it.
Yeah. For All-State high school swimmer Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel. Three-time.
Division champion.
There you go.
Fuck you mean.
For All-State swimmer Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel, D-Mac, Darren, McCarty.
Deuces.
My name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy. Well, see you later.